Welcome back to Talk Jamaican, where you get to learn my beautiful language free of cost. Remember, I tell you something in the Jamaican language, then I give you an overview of what I said in English. Subscribe to this channel, share it with your friends, and stay with me. Get your copy of Talk Jamaican from Amazon.com. That also helps. You know, say, if you're a picnic and you grow up in a Jamaica, you have to hear enough Duppy story. Well, me don't know about town picnic, but me know say as country picnic, me used to hear Duppy story every night, and the darker the night, the more Duppy story they tell you. Lord Master, you know say me couldn't sleep for years. Every time me shut me eye, me see one Duppy. I want wicked thing that, you know. In fact, in America, they would have called it child abuse because when you grow big and you have the problem, them say things will happen to you when you're a picnic. So me that say, boy, me did get abused because they tell me too much Duppy story. Anyway, Master, and the thing about the people them who tell the Duppy story, you know, all when their cousin and then grandpapa tell them the story for a long, long time, them will come back and tell you, say, it did happen to. Yeah, man, me I tell you, but me never hear more Duppy story than when we had the Kendall crash. Plenty young people don't know about Kendall crash, you know. Some people that come from Antigua Bay in one train, and them have party, and the train crash, and whole heap of people dead. Lord, after that, every time you walk up somebody, them will tell you about one Duppy story where they can't happen to them. Yeah. If man a car, he tell you about how him a driving car and he see one pretty girl and he pick her up and get her lift, and when she reach a certain place she just disappear out of the car. You know the about a man will tell people that story there. And all who are walk foot I tell the same story. They say they walk down the road and they see one pretty girl and then go start talk to her. And next thing she just disappears. So poof. Me say Kendall crash, me never hear more Duppy in my life. But Master, me I tell you, whoever come up with this story about the three jankro and the coffin a fly around Jamaica and ask Mr. Brown, them should have get an Academy Award for storytelling. Me I tell you. Because you know for about 2 years, all around Jamaica, that's all everybody a chat about. The three jankro we have fly around with the coffin and ask Mr. Brown. And you know what? People would have called the radio station and they say, you know, say the jankro hit down at Duncan's Trelawney and every all the school picnic them in a Duncan's and all the teacher and all the worker them drop everything them are doing and run on a Duncan's fair go look for this the three jankro with the coffin. And you hear another one call and say, Lord, they drop it down a seafood in St. Thomas and same thing happen. Pure everybody drop well ma do. Me say it caused so much carousing that me no know that a lot of people stop work for the whole time. They just roll up and down and like a mad dance or like a chicken without head. I look for this cattle with the tree jankro. And you know we catch Bob Marley. Yeah man, the great Bob Marley get catch too. Can him write one song say, who is Mr. Brown? And he said, Mr. Brown must say a clown. You have to go look it up, it's on the internet. But Bob Marley him write song about it and I say, boy, people don't grow a Clarendon and Moko, everybody around and don't look for Mr. Brown. Why, me I tell you, Jamaican people, our imagination. You know, they still I tell them picnic Duppy story, but why not them the day when me I grow up it did simple brother. I was just speaking in the previous section about how masterful Jamaicans are at coming up with ghost stories to scare their children. I think every child who grew up in Jamaica has been scared to death by ghost stories. And well, they didn't consider it child abuse in the old days, but looking back, when I think of the many sleepless nights I had because of ghost stories, I think that it should be so categorized. Anyway, and the thing about it, we are so good at telling stories that we always take what other people tell us and claim it was our actual experience. No more so than when we had the tragic Kendall crash in Jamaica, in which hundreds of people died. I think it was over 200 people died. A train was coming from Montego Bay, going to Kingston. The people were partying and having a great time inside the train, and it crashed. And after that, you could not run into somebody who did not have some story they claimed was their actual experience with somebody who had died in that crash. For instance, men would claim they're driving on the road, they would see a pretty young lady, they would give her a lift, and she would just disappear out of the car mysteriously. Or even people who didn't have cars would say they were walking on the roads, see a pretty young lady, go up to her and talk, and she would just disappear into the blue. But I don't think any ghost story caught the imagination of an entire nation as did the story of Mr. Brown. Three junkers, three crows were seen flying around carrying a coffin and asking for Mr. Brown. That story caused mass hysteria in the country. You had people calling the radio station and say, I just saw Mr. Brown in Mucko in Clarendon, and people nearby Mucko would drop what they were doing. School children, teachers, workers, drop what they were doing and run into Mucko to try and see Mr. Brown. Or somebody may call and say they saw Mr. Brown in St. Thomas, in Seaford, and the same thing would happen. It created mass hysteria for about 2 years, yes. Even the great Bob Marley was caught up into it, because Bob Marley did make a song called Who is Mr. Brown? That's a fact. You can see the lyrics to this song on the internet. Yes, whoever came up with that story is by far the most creative fiction writer in Jamaica, in my book, and he should really get an Academy Award for creating that story. Have a wonderful day. Share these videos with your friends. Subscribe to the channel. Get your copy of Talk Jamaican from Amazon.com and have yourself a wonderful day.
Forward on a different scene. I man Cali weed, I man Queen. Everything was irie, getting in the groove. I just come down to movement when someone said don't move. Well, it must be a Duppy or a gunman. I man not find out yet. I so frightened. All the daughter name I forget. Well, it must be a Duppy or a gunman. I never stopped to sleep. Quarry was a boy to I man last night. Him couldn't follow, him couldn't follow, him couldn't follow me. Next day the daughter asked me, what happened to you last night? Just when you're ready to work, you're sure you get stage fright. It was a dread.